All right, sixth grade. Well, we're moving on here in chapter 8, here with negative and positive integers. And you see our first set of directions says to compare using the less than sign or the greater than sign. Now remember, the less than and greater than sign, it points to the smaller number, and the mouth is open to the bigger number. Mouth open to the bigger number points to the smaller number. Now, when we're comparing negative and positive numbers, it's important to be able to think about a number line. Now, obviously, this is limited because I stop here at positive 7 and I stop over here at this side at negative 7. But when we think about negative and positive numbers, we actually think of 0 being in the middle. Typically, we're used to 0 being the start. But when we come to negative numbers, we're actually thinking about numbers that are smaller than 0, less than nothing. So when we have negative numbers, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. The smaller the number gets, the bigger the actual digit. So it's important to understand that like negative 1 is bigger than negative 3. Negative 4 is bigger than negative 7. You can think of it this way, almost if, you had, a jar full of candy in your room and your little brother or sister comes in and takes 3 pieces. You would have rather had them take 1 piece, okay? Because if they only took 1, you would have more candy left over in the bowl than if they had taken 3. That's kind of the idea behind negative numbers. Now, positive numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's pretty self-explanatory. So here we have negative 5 and 6. All right, now the fact that this is a negative number and this is a positive number kind of gives that away. It wouldn't matter what this digit was or what this digit was. If one of the numbers is negative and one of them is positive, the positive number is always going to be bigger. Now, here we have negative 2 and 0. Now remember, 0 is kind of where we envision that midpoint of our number line. And it's the negative numbers that move left. So actually 0 is bigger than a negative number, okay? And so with 0 being bigger than a negative number, because negative numbers are less than nothing, we would have the mouth open to the 0. All right, well, negative 7 and 7. Well, once again, it's this idea that we have one negative and one positive. They're the same digit, so you might think right away, oh, they're equal, they're both 7. No. This is a negative 7. This is a positive 7. Now, we don't normally put a plus sign in front of our 7. That's not what we do. We just normally put a normal 7. But if you can envision that in your mind, that's okay. But the positive number is definitely always bigger than a negative number. Now, here's often where it can get a little confusing. We have negative 4 and negative 5. Now, remember the comparison with the bowl of candy. You have so many pieces of candy in your room. Your little brother comes and takes some. Would you rather have your little brother take 4, or would you rather have your little brother take 5? Well, you would probably rather have your little brother take 4, because if he only took 4, you would have more left for you. So that's the idea behind comparing negative numbers. Negative 4 is actually a bigger number than negative 5. Another way to think about it is it's closer to 0 on the number line. If both numbers are negative, whichever one is closer to 0 on the number line, that's going to be the bigger number. All right, now, moving right along. The other thing we're going to be doing in this lesson 8.2 6th grade is ordering the integers from least to greatest. And this is where, when we order numbers in order from least to greatest, we want to be thinking about this number line. We want to envision this in our head. You really want to get to the point where you can envision 0 in the middle, positive numbers moving up to the right, getting bigger, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. Negative numbers getting smaller as we go left, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, so forth, without having to draw that or write that all the time. You want to be able to envision that in your head. So when I'm comparing negative and positive numbers, well, the first thing I want to do is identify the negative numbers. Well, I've got negative 2 and I've got negative 4, okay? and I see that I've got a positive 7, I've got a 0, and a positive 5 as well. Well, when I put about the least number, I know that I'd rather have my brother take 2 pieces of candy instead of 4, so negative 4 is the smallest number. It's farther away from 0. That will then be followed by negative 2. I see my other numbers are 0, 5, and 7. Well, that's pretty easy. I know that 0 will come next. And then with the positive numbers, that's easy to put in order from least to greatest. It'll be 5, and then it will be 7. And that's essentially what you're going to do. So I look at my next one, example number 2. 17, negative 18, 2, 9, negative 5. Well, first of all, I find my negative numbers because I know they're going to be the smallest. Negative 18 and negative 5. Well, I know that 18 is bigger than 5, so I would rather be down 5 because then I have more. So down 18 is the smallest. Negative 5 would be the next one. And then my other 3 numbers are 2, 9, 17. And I'm thinking, well, if I'm going to put those in order from least to greatest, that's not hard. It's going to be 2, then it's going to be 9, then it's going to be 17. Not too difficult. All right, last one. Let's look at the last one just to make sure we understand. 8, 0, 10, negative 12, negative 3. Well, once again, I first want to pick out my negative numbers. I've got negative 12 and negative 3. Well, 12 is bigger than 3, so I know that being down 12 leaves me with less than if I was down 3. So going least to greatest, it would be negative 12, then negative 3. I'm left with 8, 0, and 10. Well, pretty clearly, the next smallest one is going to be 0, and then that's going to be followed by 8, and then by 10. And that is definitely comparing numbers with integers. Not real difficult, 6th grade, but you're just going to be using less than, greater than sign, and then like we did here in this second part, putting numbers in order from least to greatest. All right, we'll talk to you later, 6th grade. Bye.